Welcome to the Unapologetic Mompreneur, the podcast for mums with an online business who are ready to take back their time, home, business and self so they can restore the balance and thrive, both at home and at work, without feeling like they have to choose between the two. I'm your host, Sarah Dew, life and biz coach for mompreneurs. I'm also a mum, stepmom, wife, introvert, breast cancer survivor, and your mentor for making a change for the better. I've learned how to go from surviving to thriving and unapologetically create a business I love and the life I want for me and my family without worrying about what other people think. And now I'm here to help you do the same. Because being an unapologetic mompreneur doesn't mean that we're selfish or that we don't care about others. It simply means that we are not afraid to show up as our true, authentic selves, to step into our purpose, do what we know is right for ourselves and the ones we love, and take the steps we need to take to make our dream life and business a reality. Join me each week where I'll be sharing all of my best tips and strategies, plus the occasional dose of tough but gentle love to help you feel empowered, motivated, and confident to take action so that you can become the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. So, are you ready to unapologetically create a business and life you love? Let's do this. Hey there, and welcome to episode 22 of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. If you are feeling like things have got a little bit complicated in your business just recently and you are wanting to scale things back and make things simpler, this episode is for you. In a quick fire round style, I am sharing with you 10 different ways, 10 different tips and strategies that you can use to help you keep things simple in your business so that you can keep the overwhelm at bay. Because let's be honest, as mums juggling an online business, we are limited on time and everything revolves around family and family comes first. And so trying to do the things that we need and want to do in our businesses in the margins of times between school hours and nap times and evenings can make it super hard for us to see growth in our businesses if we don't keep things simple. If you're feeling like it's time to scale things back and keep things simple, then you are going to want to implement these strategies. Now, I'm sharing 10, so you don't need to implement all of them right now, but have a listen to them and see which ones jump out most to you that are really going to help you to scale things back. And over the next coming weeks and months, have a go at implementing these, and you will be amazed at the difference that it makes. So are you ready to find out what they are? The 10 different ways and strategies that you can use and adopt to help you keep things simple in your business. Let's dive in. Tip number 1 is to limit the number of goals that you are working on at any one time. It can be so tempting, and I have definitely been there, to want to do all the things in your business. But the reality is we can only focus on a few things at a time. If we are working on too many goals at once, we are just simply spreading ourselves thin, and it's either going to feel like we are never getting anywhere and never making any progress, or things are never actually going to be accomplished because we're spending too much time flitting from one thing to the next. As somebody who loves to set goals and have lots of goals on the go, I have learned in my business that in order to keep things simple and to see the success that I want to see and actually accomplish the goals that I'm working on is to resist that urge to have too many goals going at once and to just have one or two things that you are focusing on and working on at any one time. There is plenty of time to accomplish all of the things that you want to achieve in your business. But if you are working on too many things at once, you are going to find that you're spreading yourself too thin, that you end up spinning in circles, that you feel overwhelmed by all of the different steps of all of the different goals that you need to work on, that it just makes you want to throw in the towel and not accomplish any of them. So keep things simple by limiting the number of goals that you are working on at any one time. Give yourself permission to pick the one or two that make the most sense right now and resist the urge to start anything new until you have hit the finish line with those. Then when you have done that, you can move on to the next goal. But trust me when I say that it gets so much easier to see the results that you want and to accomplish your business goals if you just focus on one or two at a time. So look at the goals for your business right now. What are you working on? How many different things are you trying to achieve? And ask yourself what makes the most sense for you to accomplish and work on right now. And then just focus on those, knowing that you can pick the other goals back up later on once you have seen the results that you want for these. That way, you can give the goals that you are working on your full attention and the attention that they deserve so that you can see them through to the finish line and actually accomplish the things that you want to achieve. Tip number 2 is to go all in on just one or two things. Very similar to just focusing on one or two goals only at a time is also to pick the things that you are going to focus on most in your business. So for me, for example, the areas that I want to focus on the most and the things that I have decided to go all in on my podcast and being inside and nurturing and growing my Facebook group. They make the most sense for me for my business right now. The podcast is my long form content. It is my way of sharing my knowledge, sharing my expertise, and a way of people actually getting to connect and find out more about who I am, what I do, and how I can help them to take back their time, their home, their businesses in themselves so that they can thrive both at home and at work without feeling like they have to choose between the two, whilst unapologetically creating the life they want for themselves and their family. And by listening to this podcast, they can see the insights, they can get the strategies. You can find out all about how I can help you do just that. That is my long form content, and that is what I'm going all in on. That is what grows my audience. That is what draws people to me. That is the way that people can hear my voice and connect with me and decide whether or not that I am the person for them. And then if they decide that it is the case and that I can help them and they want to know more, they can come and join my Facebook group. And that is my favorite place to hang out by far. It is the way that I nurture and the way that I connect with my audience, with my community, and with my clients. The majority of my clients have come from my Facebook group because they have had the opportunity to see me live on Facebook Lives, to connect with me in masterclasses, to chat with me in the comments. And it just helps them to take that next step closer to feeling like and deciding whether I am somebody that they want to work with. And so those are the two things that I've decided that I am going all in on this year. So if you want to keep things simple in your business, pick one or two things that are your main form of bringing in your audience, nurturing your clients, and spreading your message in a form of long form content. What is that for you? Is it a blog? Is it a YouTube channel? Is it a podcast? And then how can you grow and nurture your audience? Maybe it is a Facebook group. Maybe you have a membership. How can you pick those things? What have you got in your business that you can go all in on and make those your top priority that you are going to grow? Tip number 3 is to plan your business and your business timeline around the needs of your family. Now, I dive a lot deeper into this tip in episode 18, all about the business term time strategy that I use to help me fit my business seamlessly around the needs of my family so that I don't feel like I'm constantly behind or I'm constantly playing catch up. So I redesigned my business and I redesigned how and when I plan and work on my goals so that it fits in time with the academic calendar. Because then that way, when it becomes a holiday for Harrison and he's off school, I know that everything is sorted and I've worked my goals up until that point. I'm not trying to juggle the end of quarter 3 of being the start of the school year. I'm not trying to juggle midway through quarter 2 being the school holidays. It just didn't work. And so if you feel like the two are rubbing up against each other and you want to keep things simple in your business, take a look at what the needs are of your family and design your business to fit around that. And if you want help diving more into this term time strategy, go and have a listen to episode 18, where I explain exactly what it is and how it works. And then if you want some help one-on-one, I have a power hour that is the Mum Boss strategy. And that is exactly what we cover in that power hour. I will sit down with you and look at the calendar, the academic year for you. And I will help you map your business and your goals and the way that your business timeline works so that it matches seamlessly with the needs of your family. I cannot tell you the difference that made for me, because then once it became too close to another school holiday, I wasn't starting to get stressed out thinking, okay, Harrison's off in a couple of weeks. I've got so much I need to do. He's got 6 weeks off. How am I going to get everything done? I haven't done what I need anywhere near on my goals yet. All of that overwhelm went away when I started to design my business around the needs of my family. Whatever season you might be in, take a look at what the needs of your family are and fit that and the way you set your goals and the deadlines for your goals to match that. It really does help keep that overwhelm at bay and help you to keep things simple. Tip number 4 is to focus on the needle movers, the things that will help to move your business forward in the right direction. It's so easy for us to get being on autopilot and not really thinking about the activities that we are working on, and that we're just being busy rather than actually doing things that are going to get us closest to where we want to be. It took me a long time to realize that this was what I was doing and that I was doing all of these things and these tasks and these activities. And I really felt like I was being busy, but I was getting frustrated that I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted. And when I stopped and took a cold, hard look at what I was doing in my business, I realized that I was focusing and making a priority the wrong things. Not that there was anything wrong with the activities that I was doing, they all needed to be done as well, but I was giving them the wrong attention. I needed to make sure that I was focusing on those needle movers forward and making those a priority before doing anything else. Take a look at what you've got going on in your business right now and ask yourself what the activities are that are going to help you grow your business, that are going to help you take a next step closer to where you want to be. So for me, it's things like being outreaching to other people and connecting and collaborating with others. Some of my favorite ways of doing that are being speaking in summits and being part of bundles. And so it's constantly connecting with others in order to do that and reaching out to people to do podcast swaps and all sorts of different ways that I can increase my visibility and get myself out there so that people can see and learn who I am and how I can help them. And then nurturing the ones that are already part of my community, all of those amazing mamas that are inside my Facebook group and those that are on my email list. Those were my needle movers. Those were the things that were going to help me grow my business. Because, like I've already said, the majority of my clients come from inside my Facebook group. And a majority of my other sales come from my email list. So I know that those needle movers for me are connecting with other people and collaborating with other mompreneurs, whether it is through participating in bundles or summits or doing podcast swaps, and then nurturing my audience and my list by regularly emailing them, of sharing my products and services with them, and the different ways that my coaching packages can help them to thrive both at home and at work without feeling like they have to choose between the two, and nurturing and connecting with my Facebook group so that when I do have something new to share with them, they are ready to jump on board. What are the needle movers in your business, and make them a priority, focusing on them before you do anything else every single day. Tip number 5 is to limit the voices. There is so much noise out there telling us what we should be doing and what we need to do in order to grow our business. But if we listen to all of those voices and we think about all the different messages and all the different ways and strategies and tips and everything else that we can see just from 5 minutes of scrolling on Instagram, it can very, very quickly become extremely overwhelming. And then we start to question everything that we are doing and we don't know what is the right thing to focus on. We start spinning our wheels and we just get completely overwhelmed because now we don't know what the right thing to do is at all. Remove that overwhelm and keep things simple in your business by limiting the voices that you listen to. I have what I call is my magic 7. I only ever allow myself to listen to 7 different voices at any one time. They could be other mompreneurs that are in a similar field to me, but they're a few further steps ahead and they've kind of got a very similar vision of what I'm aiming towards. And I find them inspiring. And so I check out and I listen to their podcast and I see what they have going on and I put myself in their world. And then I've also got some other coaches and mentors that I like to follow too. But I limit that number to 7. I have my magic 7. And then anytime I find myself starting to be interested in somebody else or somebody else pops up that I actually think, yeah, There's some stuff there I can take from them. There's some stuff there that's interesting. I go back and I look at my Magic Seven and I review all of them and I think, right, that's it. If I'm going to have somebody else that I'm now interested in listening to and that I've advice I want to check out, I need to drop somebody from this Magic Seven because then that helps me keep it in check and I can make sure that I am limiting the number of voices that I'm listening to and the amount of noise that goes on in my peripheral so that I can stay focused on my business without too much distraction. So if you find that you have got a lot of voices that you listen to and a lot of coaches and mentors and everybody else that you look out to and that you see and follow and scroll through on Instagram, try reining some of that in. Give it a go with the Magic Seven. Who would you add to your Magic Seven list and just follow and listen to those voices for a while and see what difference it makes in helping you keep things simple. And then anytime you find yourself checking out somebody new, have a look at that Magic Seven and ask yourself, is it time to scrub someone else from the list if you want to make that one on there? It makes such a difference in just reducing and filtering the noise that's out there. Tip number 6 bolts quite nicely onto tip number 5 of limiting the voices, and that is avoiding the temptation to compare yourself and your business journey to everybody else. Just like listening to all the noise and start spinning in circles trying to figure out what is the right thing to do, if we spend too much time comparing ourselves and our business journey to everybody else out there, that just causes us to question everything that we are doing and whether or not we are on the right path, or making us feel that we are not as good yet and we could never be like them and they're better than us. And why should I do this when they are already nailing it? All of those thoughts can crop into our heads and crop up and make us feel like we are not good enough. When actually, in order to keep things simple in our business and to reduce the temptation to start switching up and doing what somebody else is doing just because you've seen it on Instagram that morning, I think it's a great idea, is to resist the urge to compare ourselves to other people. Trust your judgment. You know what is right for you in your business. And it doesn't matter what somebody else is doing in theirs. It doesn't matter if you are doing something differently. Trust your judgment, stay in your lane, and resist the urge to compare yourself to other people. And if you find that you do get triggered by comparing yourself to other people, go and unfollow them, remove them from your feed, and resist where it's going to send you down that comparisonitis rabbit hole. Tip number 7 is to use systems and routines to help you manage your business. If you want to keep things simple, and the way of reining things back in and making you more productive and get things done in less time is to have systems and routines. One of the best ways to make sure that you're doing all of the steps that you need to do on all of the things that you do on a regular basis, whether it is creating your long form content or emailing your subscribers or launching a new product or service, having a checklist or a procedure that you can follow every single time helps to keep things simple. It speeds up the process because a lot of the work is done for you. You can just follow the steps every single time. And it also makes sure that you do everything that you need to do and that you're less likely to forget a step or not connect something together or drop a ball or anything like that. Having things in place of systems and routines and checklists to help you stay on track can really help keep things simple. Use some kind of project management software as well, whether it is Trello or Asana or any of the others that are out there. Use something that you can use to help you track your progress of where you are at with all of your goals and projects. That stops the spinning in circles and reduces the overwhelm and takes away that not knowing what you need to work on when you sit down at your PC each morning. You can just open up your project software, see where you're at, and look at what your next task is and get going. It really does help you to keep things simple. What systems and routines can you create in your business to help you get things done and manage your business so that you can stay on track without the overwhelm? Tip number 8 is to give things time. It's easy to want to throw in the towel with our goals, and whenever we're launching something new, if it doesn't go well first time. If it doesn't quite go how we planned and we don't quite see the results we want, or we only share something once and nobody takes the bite, it can be tempting to say, right, I'm ditching that and moving on to the next thing. But actually, things take time. And one thing I have learned in my business to keep things simple is to trust the process and is to give things time to grow. It's just like planting a seed. It doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it can take weeks and months for something to actually come to fruition. But imagine if you just decided to throw in the towel after the first time and it didn't work. What if it worked on try number 2 and try number 3? How amazing would that be? And what difference would that make to your business? Just like trying to resist the shiny squirrel object syndrome, is to actually give yourself time for things to get to where you want them to be. It takes so many times for someone to hear the same message over and over again, or to hear that you have got a new product or a new service over and over again before they actually click and then think about going to actually make that purchase or hire you or work with you. Give things time before you move on to the next thing. And then that way you're not flitting back and forth. And just like going back to tip number 1 and tip number 2 is to just focus on 1 or 2 goals at a time and to give yourself permission to go all in on something without flitting and trying to do 10, 15 different things. It really does help keep things simple. Tip number 9 is to have somewhere where you dump all of your ideas down, because it is tempting to want to do all of the things. But like I said in the beginning, there are only so many things that we can focus on at any one time. And because you're not working on a goal right now, doesn't mean that it's not a goal that you're never going to work on. Just maybe work on it later. One of my mentors, when I first started out with my business, described this as being a quarter 2 or a quarter 3 thing. So you're looking at something you want to work on right now and it's tempting, but now isn't the right time, that you ballpark it for quarter 2 or quarter 3. Or for me, term 2, term 3, depending on how you are structuring your business around how your family works and how you are looking at your goals, is maybe say something that you want to focus on, but actually just put it and ballpark it away for later on in the year. And then when the time is right, you can come back to it and pick it up. But it's just a way of capturing those ideas, capturing the goals and the things that you want to work on and share in your business, but knowing that now isn't the right time and you're going to ballpark it for later. And then when you're ready, you can come back to it. And then finally, tip number 10 is to do what feels aligned for you in your business. You know you best and you know your business best. You know what your goals and your visions are for your business. And yes, there is a lot of noise out there telling you what you should be doing. But if you're trying to pigeonhole yourself, or you're trying to do something that someone has suggested that you do, but it doesn't really fit with you or doesn't sit right with you, or it's an activity that doesn't fit with your personality, you are going to find it really, really hard to thrive in your business and see the results that you want to see. Take a look at all of the activities and everything that you've got going on in your business and do a quick reality check with it. Put it to the unapologetic test and ask yourself, does it sit right with you? Is it something that you enjoy working on? Is it something that you want to continue doing? Is it something that you want to continue to have as a service or continue to sell? Is it a way you want to continue showing up in your business? And if it's not, give yourself permission to let that go. Because when you do the tasks and activities, and when you have all of the things and the services that you have to offer in your business that feel aligned to you and are how you want to do things, that's when things change in your business. That's when the overwhelm goes away, because you are only focusing on the things that make the most sense, that feel right, that feel aligned, and that bring you joy. So do what feels right and what feels aligned for you in your business. And if it doesn't, let it go. So there you have it, my quick fire round of 10 tips and strategies and ways and things that you can do to help you keep things simple in your business. Number 1 is limit the number of goals that you are working on at any one time. Just pick 1 or 2, focus on those, and save the rest for when you have accomplished those. Tip number 2 is to go all in on 1 or 2 things. Pick something of a long form content as a way of sharing your voice and people being able to find you and find out what you are about, so that if they can decide that you are the right person for them, and then a way that you can nurture those people. So like I said, for me is going all in on my podcast and then nurturing and hanging out inside my Facebook group, because that is where the majority of my clients come from. Tip number 3 is to plan your business and your business timeline around the needs of your family. Tip number 4 was to focus on the needle movers, the actions, the tasks, and activities that are going to move you forward and help you get to where you want to be. Not just the tasks that are making you feel busy, but the actual tasks that are help you going to grow your business. So for me, that was connecting and collaborating with others in the forms of bundles and summits and podcast swaps, and nurturing my email list and my Facebook group. Tip number 5 is to limit the number of voices. Remember that magic 7. Who are your 7 that you are going to listen to, and resist the urge to add any additional voices to that. Anytime you come across somebody new, review that list and decide who you're going to drop so that you can add the new one. But try and keep it to that magic 7. Tip number 6 was avoid the temptation to compare yourself to other people. Follow your own instinct, trust your intuition, and stay in your lane and focus on your own journey without comparing yourself and your business to other people. Tip number 7 is to use systems and routines to help you manage your business. Go create those checklists and pick some kind of project management software that you can use to track your progress so that you know exactly where you are at with all of your goals. Tip number 8 is to give things time, and knowing that it can take a few goes or a few rounds or a few 10, 20 times of sharing your message before people actually see what it is. Give yourself time for things to embed and grow and flourish before you decide to jack them in and try something different. Tip number 9 is to have a parking lot, somewhere that you can ballpark all of your ideas so that you can have somewhere to store them to come back to when you have accomplished your goal. And you can then look at what you want to focus on next so that you are not working on too many things at once. And then finally, tip number 10 was to do what feels aligned for you in your business. Don't try and pigeonhole or mimic other people. Do what feels right for you. Work on the tasks and the projects that bring you joy. Show up in the ways that feel aligned for you, and things that match your personality and what you want from your business, so that leaves you free and feel like you are in alignment with what you are offering and who you are helping, so that things stay simple in your business. I hope that these tips have helped, and just think for a moment which ones jump out at the most. Pick a couple of them and have a go at implementing over the next few weeks and see what a difference it makes to helping you keep things simple in your business. And if you want a little bit of extra help, come and join my Facebook group. This is all the kind of exact tips and strategies and the things that we talk about inside there. You'll find the link to join that in the show notes. And here is to taking back control, keeping things simple in our businesses. And I will chat with you very soon. Thank you so much for joining me for another installment of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I would love for you to leave me a rating and a review so that other mompreneurs can find this podcast too. Here's to unapologetically becoming the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. I can't wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now.